Hey, what's up, everybody? Dean, Sea Performance. Been a little bit, but we just been cranking out a bunch of work. We did 69, I believe, is 69 Camaro, the hot side and charged side for Thomas. Knocked that out real quick. Kind of forgot to make a video on it. Really cool car. He's got a 5.3. Not sure if he said it was aluminum or iron block. But that'll be a really cool car, basically a daily driver for him. And then we're plugging away on the Corvette, the Monte Carlo, the van. We're trying to get everything knocked out before the holidays all come up and grab us. But today is Jeff with the S10, the Spaghetti S10. This is his Trailblazer SS that he bought, and it had some work done to it. It's got a cam in it. It's got long tube headers. Everything was slip fit. So it's like the split joint slip fit. So that's like a bell end, and then it's got two splits in it for that style, like band clamp. And as soon as I got it on the lift, every single one of those clamps was loose, basically like that. The nut was seated up against it, but none of them were tight. I guess he was told that they were, spot welded or something. That's their version of spot welding. And then not tightening the clamp. So you can see he's got quite a few exhaust leaks coming through all the joints. Most of the joints, not all of them, just most of them. So the headers were also missing a bolt. Like that middle bolt was missing out of each side, which it's kind of an easy bolt to get to because you just pull the wheel off and you can stick it in right there. So it was kind of weird that they were missing that particular bolt, but they were. So I've got the headers unbolted, got the exhaust all the way back off. The other issue for me, anyways, so this is the tailpipe here. You've got long tube headers with 3-inch crossover Y, 3-inch all the way back, which they went to aluminized. Apparently they didn't have, well, I don't know what they did. Bought like, I don't know. To be honest with you, I have no idea what they did. Why this is where the crossover went in, and it was like the crossover was pointing up, so they kind of just pushed this in and welded it, and then another joint here. Then they came down, and this is kind of what they did. You can see how the pipe is straight, then it goes into the bell, and the bell is pushed up. On this, I believe the bell would be pushed down, because this exhaust sits the other way. So again, aluminized, then back to a stainless MagnaFlow, which they MIG welded everything. Not a big deal, but not really cool. 3-inch out, but then they went to the factory 2.5. And the way you accomplish that is just put a 1/2-inch wide bead. You get the top is tight. Over here you can see where the top is actually seated, and then you just fill in the weld, the gap. Not really the way to do it. Then the over the axle pipe, this is like a factory one, so it's squished here. You can't really see it with the heat shrink, but this pipe is like squished down. It's tiny right there, kind of like it is right here. Like you can see how much this tapers down into that flat, and then it comes back out. Then they took went back to a 3-inch pipe that now they took, and you can kind of see a bunch of wobbles there, is where they clamped it down really, really hard, welded it to the tailpipe, and then put in like a race bullet style muffler. Came back and out with a tip, and it didn't look bad like on the back where it sat in there. It didn't look, you would never know kind of deal. But we got a bunch of 3-inch stainless coming. I got a bunch of V-bands, so I'm gonna V-band the end of the headers. This one's just sitting in there right now. I'll weld it in. I'll set this one in there. This one, I'll weld it in, and then the crossover, both pieces on the crossover will get V-band. The center of the crossover will get fully welded, so the crossover will essentially, if I can make it work, which I think I can, it'll be one piece. So the crossover will come from here. It kind of comes out a little bit, and then it comes down, and then it turns along here, and then it turns back up and over the transmission cross member, and that's where the Y is. So I'm gonna try and keep this section one piece. So you undo the 2 V-bands and that whole crossover will drop. I'm gonna set another V-band here, and then do like a midsection. He's got a new muffler coming. I think it's a Black Widow Venom, which I haven't used those yet, so hopefully it'll give a nice good sound. But we'll probably either set the muffler in here or back here, but I'm gonna carry the 3-inch mandrel bend all the way over, and then I'm gonna tuck it over on the side of the panhard bar over here, and then come straight back. And he has this like 5-inch, I think it's 5-inch, not really sure, but he's got a pretty nice tip, which normally I wouldn't suggest a huge tip on a gas naturally aspirated. You know, big tips are kind of diesel things, but I think it looks really good. The angle on it is like really good with the angle on the bumper. I may even take and kind of turn it up a bunch to keep the angle. Otherwise straight, it kind of sits a little bit weird-ish. But it doesn't look horrible. So I think it would be kind of a good look, kind of setting like that. But I'll have to take a couple pictures, send them to him, and kind of ultimately let him decide on what exactly he wants to do. But he's got a bunch of stuff. Surprises is what he calls them for me. He's got a catch can. PCM of North Carolina. Catch can. And then he's got PCM of North Carolina auxiliary transmission cooler. It's a pretty big kit. And it comes with a relay. He opted for the add-on Spall fan. Plugs. He's not getting a thermostat because he's a goon. He got new header gaskets, manifold gaskets, like they look like the GM. Yep, AC Delco multi-layer gaskets. So that's good. He's got new gaskets, bunch of push lock fittings. I hate push lock fittings. New header bolts. So yeah, he's got a bunch of stuff here for us to do. I'm gonna try and get today. I'm gonna try and get the V-bands welded completely onto the headers. Get the headers back up in there, bolted, tightened, so that way I could start working on the crossover. Hopefully get most of that knocked out, and then jump onto the transmission cooler, which kind of mounts right in this area somewhere. Not 100%. I think it comes off these 2 bolts here, kind of hangs here. The brake duct is what it sits in front of. I'm pretty sure on that. I'm not gonna read the instructions because it'll be funner to figure it out without reading the instructions. But yeah, that's the goal for today, is to get the headers done, the V-bands on the headers, minimum the V-bands on the headers, get them back on the truck, and then get working on the transmission cooler, and He's got stuff that's coming. I believe he said like Tuesday, which will be tomorrow. And then the piping kit, the 3-inch stainless piping kit, unfortunately won't get here till Saturday because of Thanksgiving coming in a few days. But that gives me time to get all these other little things knocked out. He also has a bunch of deck school in the box there, like 4 gallons or something like that. He wants to flush out the radiator system and get rid of the green antifreeze. The cheap, I guess it's like a cheap, is it dirt? It's like the cheap green antifreeze, so he wants to swap it out. He wants to swap it out for the deck school, the orange deck school. So we can do that. But yeah, I mean, that's it for today. Maybe I'll update at the end. I mean, I will. I'll try and remember. I'll make a video at the end, and we'll get this one knocked out and out of here. And then next up will be Jeremy's Corvette, I believe, or the van. Probably the van, actually, because there's a ton of parts I gotta wait. I got all of his parts over here now. The old cylinder heads, which, oh, there's the new ones are right next to it. The 243s, that is his motor in the bag, fresh out of the machine shop. This is his old motor, so I got to take a few things off. The oil pan is broke, right there, which, you know, might not be the worst thing in the world, but I know that these oil pans have been said to cause oil pressure drop, like in like drag racing, because the pickup tube, I believe, is somewhere in kind of in the center of the pan somewhere. I'm not 100% sure. I've not taken a Corvette pan off yet, but I believe it's somewhere in the middle of the pan, and then when you launch the car, the oil transfers to the back. Something with that. I don't really know, but we'll look at it and figure it out. But I got new lifters. We're gonna reuse his rockers, valve springs, because they are double valve springs. It looks like a BTR Platinum valve spring. And then he's got the real nice full, I believe these are Harlan Sharp. I'm not 100% positive on what brand rocker arm this is. To be honest with you, I don't even see it on there, which is weird. Usually the companies stamp them on there, the brand. I mean, regardless, they're nice rockers, roller tip rockers, so can't hurt the valve train to have good rockers. We got the new injectors. He's got hardened push rods. That's about it. Bunch of stuff coming. So I gotta wait on a bunch of stuff for his car, oil pan, all kinds of stuff. We're doing more of like a 7-quart deep sump oil pan, and I have a little trick to make it work. Like that oil pan, or I guess they call it a Batwing. I think they call it a Batwing, or the newer, I don't care. It's a Corvette oil pan. But that one sits like 5 inches, and one that I have coming is a lot. It's actually the exact same one that's on my heap. That one there. And that pan is 6 inches deep, so it only hangs a little 1 inch ish down. But the way his course, like if this is the subframe, that pan that's on his old motor literally sits like flush to the bottom of the sub, and his car sits really low, like you can't get a jack under it really low. So I don't want the issue of him like hitting a speed bump or something and wrecking his oil pan. But regardless, we'll have videos on that. We'll have videos on the van, Jeff's Trailblazer, and then kind of the really big project that we got going we're going to get going. Oh, that's my hand. I already kind of started, but hopefully beginning of next year, possibly, we'll actually jump on it and start working through a bunch of things, and it'll be a full fresh build for the shop. It'll be a shop build, not a customer build. But yeah, that's it for now. Do me a favor, hit the like, thumbs up, hit the subscribe, hit the bell to be notified of new videos. And if we don't get back to you before Thursday, have a Thanksgiving. Enjoy your family, whether it be over the phone or in person. But that's it for now. Like, subscribe, hit the bell, leave a comment, please. Appreciate it. Have a good day.